including 30 terabytes of data, including raw data from electronic devices seized from the defendant. We turned over Melissa Barthelomy's missing person case, which was 1,600 pages of lab reports and bench notes, additional lab work and underlying bench notes from the Suffolk County case, and from lab work resulting from the warrant from the defendant's house. So that's with pertaining to Melissa Bartholomy. All, as Nick indicated, all raw data from the mitochondrial DNA lab work and the underlying bench notes. Those are about 2,000 pages of materials. We continue disclosing the subpoenas and responses from our subpoenas, both the subpoenas that the task force done and the subpoenas that were done prior to our formation of the task force. And so what we do is we get every single subpoena we find in the file, whether it was done by us or previously, then we go through the file and find the response to the subpoena, marry the two, and provide that to the defense. So of course that is arduous. We are continuing to provide the underlying tip material, that is tips that were given to the task force and prior from members of the public. We gave an additional 60,000 pages of copies of documents and materials recovered from the July 2023 search warrant. All grand jury minutes and exhibits have been provided previously, and as well as binders from investigators who worked on prior to the task force. We provided 6 separate of those binders. So that's about what we provided.
Are any of the tips new ones?
Tips are continually coming in.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
No. The public has, this is a case where, obviously captured the public's imagination, and so the public is continually providing tips which are being evaluated.
Based on what we just saw in the courtroom, it sounded almost like the judge was pushing the defense along to go through the material fast as he said. Basically, Brown said, we're going as fast as we can. Is there some kind of a push to go through this a little bit quicker?
Well, I think that's the job of the court, and I think the judge is pushing both sides. The judge is pushing both sides to get the material. We have to get the material out. Obviously, once the defense gets it, they have to evaluate that material and take whatever action they deem appropriate. I think if you look at, other cases of this nature where you have a number of murders that occur over a period of time, in jurisdictions across the country, this isn't a robbery of a commercial establishment which gets tried in 3 months. A tremendous amount of material.
I know I've asked you this before, but do you have any idea when you think it is going to go to trial? And then Jennifer asked about the tips. Where is the furthest tip that ever got across the United States or from another country?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. It's just we have a lot of tips, and again, what we do with the tips is we then have to get the tip and then provide whatever work that was done on that tip, marry the two together, provide it to the defense. So it's luminous and arduous.
DA Tierney, do you have any idea on
Just go ahead.
can you quantify the number of tips you've received from the beginning?
We're in the neighborhood of about 7,000 tips. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Do you have any update on the additional murder charges?
No. Again, when we talk about, our work as prosecutors, we speak to indictments. We've said right from the very beginning that we were going to expand the investigation off of the original Gilgo 4, off of the beach. I think the last indictment has illustrated that. So that work continues, but as well as the arduous work of preparing this case for trial.
The material from his personal devices, did you find anything else pertaining to his, for lack of a better word, manifesto that you guys talked about a month ago?
So we've found a lot of information, some of which we've included in discovery, bail documents. Anything that's publicly been disclosed, we comment on. Anything that has not been publicly disclosed, we don't comment on.
Sounds like a question, Valerie, that does Heuermann remain a
prime suspect for her?
He is, safe to say he would be a suspect in this, yes.
Any clue when this will finally go to trial?
Well, I think, we have an export date of October, we're moving, trial date to trial date, we're continuing to work, as we've been talking about all along, so we're not gonna look past October, but the case is not gonna be tried.
And we keep saying, terabytes and terabytes of discovery are being turned over. Can you explain what is some of this discovery? What's included in all the discovery we've seen being turned over the last year?
So with regard to all the discoveries, so we have 6 murders, which are alleged to have been committed by this defendant. We need to prove that, we look forward to doing that. So all of the underlying casework for each of those murders, one murder occurred in 1993, 2003, 2007, 2009, and 2 in 2010. So all those individual caseworks, and you have missing persons files, which we have to provide. And then you have tips, which you have to provide. You have phone work, you have lab work, you have electronic devices. You have to provide all of the work from that, not only the work, the underlying data, when you're talking about scientific, forensic evidence, electronic evidence. So you have to provide all of that. You also have to provide the work of the various iterations of the investigation team that investigated the bodies left on Gilgo. So all of those notes, all of those notebooks, all of those detectives that worked on it, various agencies, you have Maine, you have Connecticut, where the missing persons first originated, you have NYPD. So there's a tremendous amount of work. And under our law, under our New York State discovery law, we have to provide every single piece of paper. And then we have to be able to prove that we provided every single piece of paper. So we have to do that. And again, it stems back from 1993. I wish I could tell you I was in grade school in 1993. I was not. Actually, I was working in the DA's office, but certainly wasn't working in this case.
Is there any possibility that these murder trials might be broken apart? The 4 women first and then the others, or do you think it'll all be together?
Well, I think that's a motion that the defense in all likelihood will explore. I think if you look at, if there's reasons why you would want to try these cases together, principally judicial economy, obviously that is going to be something that the defense is going to look at and make the appropriate decision for them. And again, we anticipate there being a lot of pretrial motions in this case. There are a lot of pretrial motions in most cases, but in this case in particular, there's going to be a lot of motions, pretrial motion practice, given the amount and the type and the length of time, the breadth of the case.